CDC wants kids to have 60 minutes of physical activity a day. We've become an inside society, so when kids get home from school, they're not necessarily going out and riding their bikes and running around the neighborhood.
Your whole goal as a PE teacher is not only to create lifelong movers, but to keep those kids active through the entire class. We want to fight this obesity epidemic. We want these kids to be healthy, even if we only get them 50 minutes a week.
Children of color, children living in poverty, they have the highest rates of obesity in the region. And so schools have to become that intervention for them because the school is at center of that child's communities.
In 1960, there were like over half of students walked to school, and now it's less than 15%. So our programs are trying to encourage kids to view walking and biking to school again as something that's safe and fun. And in that way, kids can get their daily physical activity, not necessarily in PE, but by walking to school or biking to school.
The active transport to school, I think, is probably one of the trickier pieces for school administrators and parents to wrap their heads around because there's so many factors that go into being able to walk to school.
For inner ring suburbs, it's the lack of sidewalks that are in complete disrepair, sidewalks that are gaps that are missing, or places, entire neighborhoods that were built without sidewalks. There's over $1 billion of need in those categories.
Especially in the urban core, kids are writing about how they're afraid of the abandoned houses, or they hear gunshots in the neighborhood and they're afraid of getting kidnapped, or they know there's bad people in their neighborhood. And these are elementary and middle school kids, and I've heard that overwhelmingly from students, and it's a consistent theme. The best laid sidewalks may not be the whole picture. Then you have the infrastructure issues of the physical road and sidewalk space, and then you just have public will around it. So if the general consensus from parents and students is that it's unsafe, how do you build that public will for active transport to school?
A lot of our policy and planning work is around safe routes to school, looking at school zones and neighborhoods around schools, making sure that it's supportive for biking or walking. The school districts are actually prioritizing walkable neighborhoods as something that's important.
Most of our students live less than a half a mile away, so it's a really equitable opportunity for them to walk. We have 2 crossing guards, and we have staff members that are in and out in the front of the building every day so that parents know that their children will be safe in their walk. That little bit of fitness with the 1 day a week of PE is huge.
I think we're starting to see a little culture shift for the better in terms of biking and walking around schools and in school neighborhoods. And what's been amazing kind of watching East High School's Bike Club over the last couple of years is that it is starting to transform the culture at East. We're about ready to install a new bike rack outside. They're looking at building a mountain bike trail on their premises.
When we started, we kind of expected there to be like maybe 5 or 10 kids that were interested in doing Bike Club. By the end of the 3rd day, we had over 60 kids who had applied to be in Bicycle Club.
Before Bike Club, I never used signals, and I always had like near crashes with cars. I feel good, like I can ride better and not be scared.
By the end, they have an appreciation for active transportation, and they're more engaged in their neighborhoods. You know, you have to have a multi-faceted approach in order to kind of make change, sustainable change in neighborhoods.
But really it has to be kind of a general whole shift of mind with parents and kids and teachers that this is something really important and it has to be built in from a young age.
All of our long-term research tells us students are better, they perform better academically when they are physically fit. And they get used to being outside, they get comfortable with outside, and then they'll spend more of their time outside doing play activities that most of us grew up doing.
Students that are active throughout high school tend to be active throughout the rest of their lives. Any place we can additionally get them an opportunity for exercise is going to be a lifelong gain for them.